Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and as usual I can't remember where I left off from the last video that I shot, but let me kind of go over what I've been doing lately. Where do I start? Okay, so yeah, let's start with why my car is bench pressing a 35-pound weight. Let's see. Alright, so I cut out this top a while back, and it was great. Everything was looking wonderful, and I was starting to sand on it and really finish off shaping it and all that stuff. And then I noticed that the center section where this little hole is had started to rise up, and at that time the temperature outside dropped down to like 22 degrees or something. And I guess with fiberglass being all new and the body filler being new and all that, I don't know, the temperatures messed with the shape of this top piece. It wasn't real major, but it was enough that kind of slowed me down, and I was like having to come up with ways to try to fix it. So what you're looking at is my strange solution. So the only place that it increased was in the center. And basically, like if you look at my hand, the top has like this shape to it, and when it got cold outside it went like that. So it kind of, the center rose up, and I needed to push it back down. So I have this weight sitting on here, and the weight is applying pressure on the top, and then at the same time I applied heat to the center section using a heat gun. I even laid like a heating pad on it overnight, just to give some gentle heat to release and add some relief to the fiberglass in the center, and allow this thing to settle back down, and hopefully it'll stay there. So what I've done in order to ensure that it does stay there is what was going to happen anyway. Is I cut the little triangle section that was in the design from the beginning out. If you remember in the previous videos, this whole little area was a big goopy mess of stuff, and it was just kind of where everything kind of collided, and I didn't really know what to do with it at that point. So I knew I was going to end up cutting it out and creating a piece that goes in. So now that this piece is flat, as you can see, it's not sticking up anymore, and it's pretty flat. There's a little space there to go in and lift it up a little bit. But so now what I'll do is I'll take this piece that you see, that's all my little classic foil job, and this goes in just like that, and it will have a nice little edge and shape to it, and then it blends right into this top, and then I'll recut this whole piece, and this will be supported and shaped, or not shaped, but just, I guess, supported underneath so that it holds its shape after it cures, and we won't have any of that bowing problem stuff. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on that. I was hoping to be further along, but that's just part of what happens with this kind of deal, is you always have these little unexpected things, and being in Texas, the weather really likes to jack around with you a lot. So like today it's 39 degrees outside, and yesterday it was 70 something degrees outside, and the humidity was like off the chart. It was like my garage was like sweating. It was weird. So so yeah, let's see, I'm trying to cover everything. I have removed the dash from the car, so now you can see how open the interior is now, or the lack of interior. And what I'm getting ready to do is take this dash and put some steel grate metal over it, and I'm going to use this for the base to start applying the industrial clay onto, and then I'll start shaping it from there. I just need something for that clay to bite and hold on to, and it won't do it on this plastic. Now I have this little pad piece that's on top, but it comes off, and then I have all this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that grate metal onto this part, not really worry about the pad. Excuse me. So yeah, that's kind of what I guess what the plan is with this. I really don't know. Is this going to be yet another learning experience, and going to be different to figure out. So this was really crazy to take out. There had to be at least 200 screws that came out of this thing. So it's just crazy. I don't understand. I mean, it's probably, I swear, it's at least 20 pounds of screws and stuff that just didn't have to be there. It was, I don't know what, I guess this is part of the main structure or something. I don't know. I mean, there's a little roll bar that goes through, which is real nice, but I mean, that's all you need. It's just crazy. I don't understand. So now I have some airbags too that I'm gonna have to play with. I'll have to be one of those idiots on YouTube that shoot their friend 20 feet in the air with it or something. So yeah, let me come over here and you can kind of see the car door and all that. I know this would be a good time to kind of show you, but I get a lot of emails and questions and YouTubes and comments on what car did I start off with, and really I didn't start off with anything. I actually just designed the car in CAD and came out and made it without doors or anything, and then I ended up running into other areas where other people kind of failed at trying to do something like this, which was a lot of the places that they ran into major roadblocks were the windshield and, you know, all of this type of thing, and the doors and how the windows work, and things that seem simple when you think about it, but are really part of the, you know, some of the most complex part of the car. So after kind of learning from other people's experiences, I went out and found the car that fit my shape and design and body and size, and it just happened to be that the Miata was like a perfect fit, or some people call it the MX-5. And this is an early model version which has this big side window, and all I'm using from it is just a door jamb area from there around, and then the inside of the door. The outside of the door is actually all custom, but the inside of the door and the internal part of the door is the parts, or are the parts that I'm going to be using, so that I don't have to like try to make those or manufacture those or anything like that, and I can just purchase the weather stripping, you know, right out of catalogs and stuff, and I don't have to try to have it made or designed or anything, and that'll just make things a lot easier. Now the inside of the door will probably be designed differently later to give a little bit extra shoulder and arm room, because there's about a ½ inch area to almost 2 inches on the inside that doesn't really need to be there. So that area can be shaved down quite a bit. And if we look inside the car, okay, these seats, I love these seats, they're so comfy. So we can see in the open cabin space and my feet, yeah, and you can kind of see all the space that this thing has. So my legs are straight out, and the pedals are going to be pretty much at the end of this bar here, and you know, so there's a lot of room. And also the seat that I'm sitting in is on top of the frame, and this part of the seat is going to be down here, so that will give us a lot more headroom up here. And right now there's still plenty, there's about, I don't know, it's about 2 inches over my head right now, and when I drop it another 4 inches, then we'll have plenty of room. And I'm 6'4", so that should be good for most people. I sure hope so. And yeah, so this is where the transmission goes. Alright, so this is where the gear shifter will be, and the engine back of it will be right here, right where the windshield is. The back of the engine will be basically right next to my feet. The headers and exhaust will will come around and wrap around and then come back through and then underneath the car. And that's one area that's going to be very tight, and something that we're going to have to figure out, because I'm not really sure where it's going to go. I did have a version of the car, or this design, where the exhaust went out of the car on the outside, out here, like the Vipers or old Shelby Cobras. And I still would like to do a version with that, but just for legal reasons and making sure that it'll work in all states and countries, I really want that exhaust to come through the middle as the first priority on that. Then you can really see how those are some really wide front tires. You can see how much space there is between the chassis and the tire, so it allows for some really long upper and lower control arms, which will keep the tires nice and flat and level through turns and things like that. And the engine will be placed about a foot from that thing, which is the shock tower. Not sure if that's going to be the official layout of this shock tower, because this is just a like a temporary chassis for building everything on. It's not going to be the final chassis design. We're working on that now, and we'll hopefully have some images for you guys to see of that here pretty soon. But yeah, so, and this space here is pretty wide for the transmission. Like, this can be narrowed down quite a bit. I'm not sure how much, because I need to get the transmission to really be able to determine. Right now, this is basically, this whole section here up to the front will fit anything from a huge 460 or 429 Boss type engine, all the way back, or 427 Cobra engine, to just about any transmission. And that's how this whole front has been designed, because this is a layout that I took from the Shelby Cobra of a company of a friend of mine and all that. So and it needed to be able to accept just about whatever anybody wanted to put in it, whether it was Chevy, Ford, or Mopar. So eventually, the final design, this will be shaven down to give us the maximum amount of space and structural strength and all that. So the drive shaft will be about a foot long. So right here, where this little bar, this is actually a drive shaft loop, and there's two of them. There's one back here. The drive shaft is really going to be about that long, probably a little longer, maybe about 17 inches, or I don't know, something like that. And that's about it. So you can kind of see how this all looks on the inside. I hope you can see this. I'm not really sure if the light's getting in here that well, but yeah, so this kind of gives you an idea of the space. And this little, like, really, my feet will probably be right here, but even if they're over a little bit, this is still enough room to cover all the main brake pedals and gas pedal and all that stuff. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is design this dash in here, and it's real nice that there's two little bolts that hold that whole dash assembly on, one on this side and that side, and I can just plug it in and out real easy. So that'll make it nice and easy to design it, because I can work on it on the outside of the car and then kind of plug it in and just test fit it and do all that, and have enough space to really work on it, because I was kind of hating to try to work on it inside the car. So anyway, that's about that, and I'll get out the car and we can see how. So I just want to show everybody kind of like how this is working, and so I have to kind of duck my head just a tad to get out, but other than that, it's pretty simple, and voila. So hopefully that shows you guys kind of what the interior placement is like. It's real similar to the shape of a Miata, or if you've been in a Porsche, I think it's a little roomier side to side than like a Porsche 911. But I don't know, Porsches have strange use of their room inside their cars, and it's fascinating, actually. I don't know, that German engineering is crazy. So So anyway, that's where I'm at with this progress, if you want to call it that right now. I'm going to have this fixed up pretty soon, hopefully by this weekend. Then I will start claying up this deal and trying this out and seeing how that goes. I do have to wait. I got like 2 cases of clay coming, and this stuff right here, which is a lot lighter. Like this whole block weighs like less than this thing. It's crazy. But yeah, so I have a bunch of that coming. It's all in back order, so I'm not expected to receive it till January, maybe, I think. So we'll see when it gets here. And that's about it. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later. Bye.